Hey everyone, I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures. And what we have here is the Bluetti AC 180. It is an 1152 watt hour power station. I absolutely love this power station. The size of it is just right. The form factor is just right. The amount of power that you get out of this is very respectable for what we like to do on overlanding trips, camping trips, having extra power around the house for, emergency situations, power outages, that sort of thing. I really like the AC 180. This is the AC 200L. It's Bluetti's latest 2,000 watt hour power station, 2,048 watt hours to be exact. This is a beast of a power station. It's got just about everything you would want in a power station. It's got a RV style 30 amp plug. On the front, it's got a DC 30 amp plug, which a lot of people really love for AC inputs. Two 100 watt USB-Cs, two quick charge USB-A ports. It is a fantastic power station. Now, as you can tell here, the size between these two is quite significant. This is just a much nicer, more compact package. This is quite a bit heavier than this is. But Bluetti has done something that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And that is fit a 2073 watt hour power station into the size of the Bluetti AC 180. So introducing the brand new, at the time of this recording, not quite released yet, Bluetti Elite 200 V2. So as you can see, this is pretty much the same size as the AC 180. Just a fraction taller, just a fraction wider. Same overall width here. But Bluetti has taken more power than what the AC 200L has and put it in a form factor the same size basically as the AC 180. And that is incredible to me. You would think that this would even be heavier than this. No, it is not. It is a good 10 pounds lighter than the AC 200L. It's only 53 pounds, which is crazy. Now, obviously, you do lose the 30 amp RV plug. You lose the 30 amp DC port here. But for what this is designed for, more overlanding instead of RV type stuff, more camping. I think this is absolutely incredible. So let's get rid of these two, and we'll focus on this. Let me run through the specs of this thing real quick, and then we'll get into some of the special features that this thing has. 2,073.6 watt hours worth of energy storage in this tiny package. 2,600 watt pure sine inverter, which is absolutely fantastic. This thing will run pretty much anything you need it to. For how long depends on what that load is. But this thing packs a ton of power in a small space and allows you to use that power pretty much however you need to. So 4 AC outlets here, one 12 volt 10 amp normal cigarette outlet here. We'll get back to this thing here in just a minute. Two 100 watt USB-C ports. Each USB-C port can put out 100 watts. So it's not some 100 watt USB-C ports, that's divided between the USB-C ports. Each one of these can dish out 100 watts. So if you've got a laptop you need to charge, if you've got a Starlink that you need to run, Starlink Mini that you need to run off this will handle it, no problem. And then two 15 watt USB-A ports. The design of this, as you saw, follows Bluetti's current design functionality in that it's got two very nice handles here, very nice and square and flat, so you can pack this and stack this, and everything fits just fine around it. It's got the same very nice screen that Bluetti's been putting in all of their power stations recently. It's got all of the important information that you need to know here. Access here to turn on the AC and DC ports here. This is your solar charging over here on this side. Here's your AC charging right there. And when it comes to charging, this thing will input 1,800 watts in turbo mode via the AC outlet. It can input up to 1,000 watts of solar input, which just it just blows my mind. You can dual charge this with both AC and solar for a whopping 2,400 watts of input into this thing. So in an hour, you can, with both combined, in an hour, you can charge this from dead to full. In under 2 hours with just AC, you can recharge it to full. In just over about 3 hours, you can recharge this with 1,000 watts of solar. It's absolutely incredible what this thing is able to do as far as the inputs go. You of course can use a car charger adapter and charge this at 90 to 100 watts if that's all you got. It'll do that. It will not charge from any vehicle that I own anyway. Any vehicle that I've tested, it will not charge from a vehicle-based inverter. So like the inverter in the back of my Gladiator, in the back of our Wrangler, this won't charge from that because that is a modified sine wave inverter, and these require a pure sine wave power input. So you can't charge it from the inverter, but you can charge it with Bluetti's new Charger 1. This thing is fantastic in that it will output as much as 560 watts through the solar port here and recharge it faster than you'd be able to from a car-based inverter. Anyway, so highly recommend if you're doing this for overlanding, car camping, any type of vehicular-based travel. The Charger 1 paired with this is an incredible setup for vehicle-based charging. Another fancy feature that this thing have that I haven't been able to test it in doing this video because it is a bright sunshiny day today is the charge controller in this is designed in such a way to maximize the amount of power coming in even on a cloudy day. And when this detects the sun coming up, it can automatically kick on, connected to solar panels, automatically kick on and begin charging and get the most efficient charging that you can out of your solar panels, even under cloudy conditions. And in the evening, when the sun goes down, it can automatically shut itself off. That's a pretty sweet feature because when these things are left on, all power stations, when they're left on, they do drain power. The DC outputs use power just being on. The AC inverter uses power just being on. This is one of the most efficient power stations on the market and blows anything by Jackery, EcoFlow, Anchor away when it comes to that residual power loss just from it being on. And its ability to turn itself on and off when solar charging, that means you can just kind of set it aside, do its thing, leave it. You don't have to worry about if you forget to unplug things and turn it off when you go to bed and then have power loss in the morning when you wake up. You don't have to worry about that with this. That's freaking awesome. Okay, let's discuss how they were able to cram 2,073.6 watt hours into the form factor of a 1,000 watt power station. They did that by using automotive grade LiFePO4 lithium iron phosphate cells that are in a square configuration. Obviously, most lithium cells are round, and so you've got round. You stack them on top of each other. There's empty space here. There's wasted space by using round cells. This uses the automotive grade square cells, so they are all nice and tucked in and nice and tight and compact around each other in here, which allows them to put a lot more power in a much smaller space, and they're much more efficient and they last a lot longer. Whereas the AC180 and the AC200L, Those are both rated at 3,500 cycles, which is really good for a power station. This one's rated at a mind-boggling 6,000 cycles. They say it has a 17-year lifespan. They say that the normal AC180, AC200L, those LiFePO 4 power stations, they say about a 10-year lifespan. 6,000 cycles, 17-year lifespan. Now, like I said at the beginning, this is more of a preview than a review because this has not been officially announced yet. By the time this video comes out, I think they will have announced it the day before or the day after. And so I don't know what the pricing is on this either because of that. But I don't know what the warranty is on that either because that has not been announced. But I suspect it will be industry-leading warranty with these 6,000 cycle automotive grade cells in the Elite 200 V2, which is incredible. Now let's discuss two tests that I have done with this that have blown me away. The first is the standard test that I do with every single power station that I get in, and that's to see how long it will run a standard 50-liter 12-volt refrigerator. For every single power station, I use our Dometic CFX3 55IM, which is a 55-liter 12-volt fridge. It's got some drinks, a couple 2-liter bottles of water inside to help regulate the temperature. And I plug the fridge into this and just see how long it will last until it dies. This is going to vary widely based on real world circumstances. This is inside my house where it stays about 72, 73 degrees. So if you're, out in the desert and it's hot and you're opening it a bunch, getting stuff in and out of it, obviously it's going to be less. If you're in colder environments, where the fridge doesn't have to kick on and off, you're going to get longer run times, that sort of thing. So this is just to compare this to every other power station I've ever tested on it. And this blew every other power station by every other manufacturer out of the water on this test and ran for 160 hours and 25 minutes, which is almost 7 days. That is absolutely insane that a 2,000 watt hour power station can run a fridge that long. By comparison, the AC200L ran it for 132 hours. So this one bested the AC200L by over a day. That is crazy. So this is the new 12-volt fridge runtime champion of all the power stations, Bluettis, EcoFlows, Jackeries, Anchors, all the power stations that I've tested. This one blows every single one of them out of the water. Even besting some much larger power stations in that test. Now, the other thing, as Overlanders, people want to know really two things. How long will this run a fridge? And will this run a diesel heater? So I've got this diesel heater right here from 4x4 Colorado. We're going to plug it in. And we're going to see what Bluetti has done with the Elite 200 V2 with this 12-volt plug. A lot of people get upset that these are limited to 10 amps, and 10 amps is not enough typically to run a diesel heater. You'll get error codes. It'll either trip the breaker in the power station or it will error out on the diesel heater. This has technology in it that will allow it to peak above that 10 amps for a short amount of time. And in my initial testing, I plugged 2 different diesel heaters into this and I ran them no problem. So let's see what happens. So the first thing it's doing is warming up the glow plug on the diesel heater. That's what uses that initial surge of power, is to warm up that glow plug. Now, at 12 volts, 10 amps, that's 120 watts. So we'll see, this will go above 120 watts as the diesel heater gets going. I've got the diesel heater cranked on max now, and it's settled into about 40 watts while this thing is really cranking out the heat, and it's running the diesel heater no problem. Now I've got it in shutdown mode. This is another area where it starts to fault. And the output here's peaked up to 140 and handled it just fine. All right, now just to make sure that's not just a fluke with that particular brand diesel heater, I've grabbed another one, completely different form factor, completely different brand, completely different price point. And let's see if it'll run this one. Now this diesel heater's pulling more power at startup than the other one did. It's at 136, 137, 140 watts, 142 watts. So 145 watts, 147, 150 watts on a 12 volt 10 amp plug. It's actually sustaining 160 watts. And now it's started, so it's settled back down at about 37, 38 watts. Fire this diesel heater up, no problem. There's very few power stations that you can depend on to be able to pull that kind of load off the 12 volt 10 amp DC port. So that's pretty incredible. While this is going through its shutdown cycle, just for fun, let's see what else this will do. So, got a heat gun here. Turn it on high. We've got 140 watts out of the DC, or we did 1,225 watts out of the AC. I mean, this is nothing. Let's leave that on. Let's plug in a grinder. I mean, there's nothing you're going to throw at this that's going to shut this thing down. I could go get a hair dryer or 2 heat guns, and it'll be running this no problem. So with 2,600 watts inverter, the DC plug, there's nothing you're going to throw at this that's gonna mess this up. I can't think of a single thing. Home fridge, microwave. I can't think of anything that's gonna mess this up. All right. So what are my gripes about this thing? The diesel heater's still powering down. As far as a 2,000 watt hour power station goes, I know there's going to be people that will miss having the 30 amp RV plug. You know, that's a choice to make this even smaller. So I know people are going to miss that. Normally I would complain about the 30 amp DC port not being here, only because, you know, running diesel heaters and that sort of thing. That's not, aside from running a diesel heater, that's not anything that I personally have ever used. It's not something that my friends in the overlanding space have ever used. That's only things that you know, people in vans and RV life and those sort of use cases would use that 30 amp plug to wire in, you know, their van or RV to that. All I care about for our use case and overlanding and car camping and, you know, what this audience typically does is, will this power a diesel heater? And the answer is yes. I love the 2 100 watt USB-C ports. The 2 USB-A ports are obviously handy. My gripe with every single power station on the market, you don't give me enough USB ports. So much of what we do, charging lights, charging watches, phones, camera batteries, drone batteries, fans, all that stuff is off USB-C. Give me more USB ports. I will take just slightly larger form factor if you could give me 8 USB ports. Just double this. Take this and make a second row of the exact same thing. Give me 4 USB-C and 4 USB-A's. I don't care if it's, you know, marginally bigger here or marginally taller. That's helpful. I have that complaint with every single power station on the market. No one seems to be listening to me. That's okay. Maybe one day, if I keep shouting that, I'll get 6, 8 USB-C ports. But honestly, other than that, I can't find any flaws with this power station. It is absolutely crazy to me that you get this much power in a 1,000 watt-hour power station size. That is crazy. So, as I've stated, I don't know how much this costs. I don't know what the price point on this is. I don't know what the warranty on this is going to be yet. But at the time this video releases, that information should be out there. Bluetti's been knocking it out of the park. Black Friday is coming up. And I've already seen some previews and stuff. Bluetti's going to be doing a lot of great Black Friday stuff. So if you're in the market, now is the time. Bluetti's been knocking it out of the park. So take a look at their Black Friday specials. And of course, if you've got any questions, be sure and leave them in the comments section. If I can answer them, I will do my best. And if you like the video, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, give us that YouTube love. And if you like what we're doing, you like the content that we're putting out, you find these type of things helpful, you find inspiration in our trips, consider checking out the Patreon link in the description and supporting the channel. Gain access to special events, special content, all of our GPS data from our trips, and for all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. See you next time. Bye.